It was just before dawn when a patrol officer found her, curled up on a bench outside a closed diner on Highway 12 in rural Oregon. She had no purse, no phone, no ID, just a thin coat, muddy shoes, and a dazed look in her eyes. She didn't speak. She didn't respond to questions. She didn't even seem to know her own name. For weeks, no one came forward. No missing person report matched her face, and the woman with no memory became a mystery no one could solve. That is, until a DNA test revealed something extraordinary. She wasn't just lost. She was a missing heir to a billion-dollar family legacy. Back in 1997, the disappearance of Vivian LeClaire made national headlines. Vivian was the only child of tech magnate Henry LeClaire, founder of Helix Core Systems, one of Silicon Valley's earliest internet infrastructure companies. Worth hundreds of millions at the time, Henry and his wife Joanna were considered tech royalty. Vivian, their 17-year-old daughter, vanished one night after leaving a friend's birthday party in Palo Alto. Her car was found abandoned on a cliffside highway. No signs of a struggle, no note, no evidence of foul play. Search teams scoured the coast. Helicopters combed the area for weeks. The LeClairs offered a $1 million reward. But Vivian was gone. Declared legally dead in 2004, the case grew cold. Just another tragic story in the world of privilege and pressure. 26 years later, 1,000 miles away, a woman with no name sat silently in a holding room in Oregon. She'd been taken in not for a crime, but for her own safety. The officer who found her, Deputy Sarah McLean, described her this way. She didn't seem homeless or drugged. She was clean, well-fed, but lost, totally detached, like someone whose mind was frozen in time. The woman had no ID, no criminal record, and no memory. Every time she was asked her name, she'd just stare forward or whisper, "I don't know." The department called her Jane Doe 172. She was referred to a psychiatric facility for observation, and that could have been the end of it, until a young intern named Carlos Medina, working with the local missing persons division, decided to run her DNA through GEDmatch, a public genealogy database used to solve cold cases. The results came back within 72 hours. Carlos was stunned. The DNA matched the LeClaire family. 99.99% parental match. Jane Doe 172 was Vivian LeClaire. When the news broke, it spread like wildfire. Reporters swarmed the Oregon facility. Henry and Joanna LeClaire, now in their 70s, flew to Oregon the same night the match was confirmed. What followed was a surreal reunion. Quiet, tearful, and filled with questions that no one had answers for. Vivian didn't recognize her parents. She didn't remember anything about her life before being found. She could read. She could write. But her memories were gone. The question that haunted everyone: where had she been for 26 years? And more importantly, why didn't she come home? Psychologists diagnosed Vivian with dissociative amnesia, a rare psychological condition often caused by extreme trauma. Patients with this condition can forget their entire identity while still functioning normally in society. But Vivian's case was different. Not only did she forget, she seemed to have disappeared off the face of the earth. Until now, as Vivian began to receive therapy, fragments of memories started returning. She mentioned a cabin, a red truck, a man named Will. Investigators used this information to trace her possible movements after 1997. A breakthrough came when a former landlord in Crescent City, California, came forward. He had rented a unit in 2003 to a quiet woman named Claire V, with no ID but cash payments. She matched Vivian's age and appearance. Neighbors recalled her being polite but secretive, rarely speaking, always leaving early, wearing sunglasses even at night. Then one day in 2006, she was gone. No forwarding address. This was likely a case of long-term abduction or coercive control. Someone took her, isolated her, and conditioned her into forgetting who she was. Over time, she created a new identity to survive. A deeper investigation into local reports revealed a man named Will Darnell, a drifter with a history of assault and false imprisonment. He was arrested in 2011, and died in prison 3 years later. A search of property records revealed he once owned a remote cabin in the Oregon woods, less than 50 miles from where Vivian was found. Inside the cabin, clothes that matched Vivian's DNA. It's believed that Vivian was abducted the night she left the party in 1997. Police now theorize that Darnell picked her up under the guise of helping her, then took her to a secluded location where he kept her for years. The trauma led her mind to shut down. And when Will died, Vivian, now alone and forgotten, drifted through towns, surviving quietly, unnoticed, and without a past, until one freezing morning, she collapsed from exhaustion on a bench and was finally found. Vivian is now receiving long-term psychiatric care and memory rehabilitation. Her parents, Henry and Joanna, have brought her back home to California. Though the family is back together, the damage runs deep. She has no memory of birthdays, holidays, or the life she once had. But she's learning, slowly, day by day. I don't know who I was before, but I know who I am now. I'm alive, and somehow that has to be enough for today. She vanished at 17, declared dead at 24, rediscovered at 43. The woman who once graced magazine covers and charity galas now walks quietly through her childhood garden, trying to remember what the world forgot. Vivian LeClair's story is more than a mystery. It's a miracle, and proof that even after decades, the truth can find its way home. If you or someone you know is missing or a survivor of long-term abuse, contact the National Missing and Unidentified Person System, NAMUS, or local authorities. Like this video for more true stories that defy belief. Subscribe to hear the mysteries the world tried to forget. Comment below. What would you say to someone who lost their identity for 26 years?